checking in with no ums, no ahs, my accountability video for working on my speech patterns and trying to smooth them out, make them more listenable to, trying to present myself better. Yeah. So, uh, I always find these the most self-conscious of videos to do because it's me talking about how I talk, and you can't help but start listening to yourself every single word that comes out as you're speaking and get completely down, uh get complete get completely caught up in yourself, tripping over your own feet. It's the equivalent of i'm going to I'm going to work out how I walk as I walk, meaning if you don't just do it, something as natural as walking, if you don't just do it, but if you actually start thinking about it, you become incredibly awkward. The same thing goes with talking, especially as a very positive thing. Yes, over the last week or two, I've become more self-conscious of how I am talking, which isn't a bad thing. I haven't lost my joy of loving to get in front of this camera and yak and think about things, but I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to learn a better way of doing it so that I come across more clearly, come across as less of a dope. Yeah, yeah. So I made the point of listening to my check-in about everything and less by Mark McGurl, his book on how Amazon has affected literature, contemporary literature. And that was it was good to just stop for a second and listen to myself. First, yes, still have plenty of ums in my speech patterns. I'm working on it, but it's definitely not there yet. I'm It's really a good thing to stop and listen to myself talk afterwards. And that isn't to say, oh, that was terrible, I said too many ums, I'm going to delete this video. Though I do have to pause it. The good thing is this is my private channel, so I'm not particularly concerned about the AI, who is, I think, my only person who actually watches my videos, scanning me for incorrect keywords, or the incorrect cluster of keywords. There's that's all I have to be self-conscious about, and there's no judgment from the AI if I say a lot. I would say my big report for myself is that in addition to no ums and no ahs, what I have noticed is the amount of times I do repetitions. Whether that's I will circle back in a sentence and repeat a certain part of the sentence a couple of times before I then get going forward again. I think that might be another it's another version of umming and ahhing, where I I'm trying to come up with a thought, but it's not quite there yet. So my mouth keeps on running, so I just circle back and circle back and circle back. So I do find that in my speech pattern. So that's something to think about going forward, is when I catch myself repeating, I think that is where I want to get into the idea of breaking up my thoughts into breaking up my sentences into chunks and taking a pause, having preparation for, okay, what are the points I want to make in this video? And thus I can express one full point, take a pause, and then express the next point. Or, there might be a point which has a bunch of subheadings, and kind of each one of those subheadings, put that out there. Now, there's some videos of mine that's just not going to happen with. Like, me checking in with everything, unless this is very much me just giving a report on what I've just read, and I'm not going to do a formal preparation of a video. That said, when I get to something like a review, I think that really emphasizes the need for me to come up with a rough outline of what I'm going to talk about and the points I want to hit, and hitting those points in a way where being prepared to hit those points. Hopefully also give myself the freedom to still go, oh, that made me think of something, and to deliver that point. But to be aware that I do repetitions in my speech, where whether it's just I hook on a certain word and I'm doing that. It's almost like a stutter. I don't believe I'm stuttering, but it's something about how my mind works, or how something about how my mind works, or how I'm used to expressing myself, where I will yeah. And maybe I'm just not that smart. See, that's where you can get into maybe a little bit more of the damaging part of speech. Is I think there are people who I am a lot smarter than, who can speak far more clearly and precisely than I can. And there are people who are just smart and the ideas flow quickly and they're very verbally adept. But there's other people who are way smarter than I am, who probably don't even have my level of verbal expression, and thus do not subject themselves to standing in front of a camera day after day, yakking, boring the hell out of people with their stumbling. That, or there's people who know that they have this issue and say, okay, this isn't something that I'm going to be able to do, but I can script stuff, and by scripting it, I can I have a framework that I can yeah, I guess it's that complete my thought, that they have a framework so that they can hold on to that and get their points across in a way that is actually listenable to. I guess the thing that I have, the task that I have put myself is, I'm not comfortable doing scripts. I know if I did if I see, that's a example of my repetition. I know that if I make a script, if I put as a condition of making a video that I have to script everything out, I probably wouldn't do this. There's something about the live action of talking to the camera, not reading a script into the camera, that is the thing that I respond well to. Other people, that is not their thing, and some of them are able to do it so well that I don't even feel that removed. There's other people, I watch their videos and this is entirely a script, and I find it very off-putting. And then there's some people who are so professional and are so, they're professional YouTubers, that it's just like, this is scripted entertainment, and I'm completely fine and I don't even think about it. It's probably more that I don't see this as me making entertainment, as it's more, this is a venue for me to try and express my thoughts. And it's a venue for me to express my thoughts. It's a venue for me to think out loud. And I guess I'm trying to make my thinking out loud a little less stream of consciousness and a little bit more mediated, a little bit more inviting to someone who stops by. There's one thing about having weird clouds of thought and disorganized muddlings in your head, and there's something to be said for being able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody and to engage with them, which I guess I'm trying to do. Even if I've turned off all my comments, I'm still trying to engage with people, and I'm trying to develop that talent even at my late age, my aged infirmity here. I am trying to become better at this. So this has been a very long and rambling check-in for no ums and no ahs. Still a little bit more of a mission statement. I think the big thing I'd like to notice, because I think at this point it's just all about noticing. I think I'd like to notice about my speech is that I also, in addition to ums, ahs, likes, basicallys, so yeah, is that I also do repetitions in my speech. And that's something to recognize and to notice and go, oh, I'm doing that. Let's take a breath, take a pause, and continue on. And if I feel like it's about to start, see if I can even intercept it there. That would be an improvement. And this is my year of learning to speak better. Me speak good. I may have stumbled into my meta goal, at least one meta goal, which is great because I was saying for this month, I want to come up with one meta goal. And perhaps this is what I'm doing right here, right now, is my meta goal, is learning how to speak more fluently, more welcomingly. I'll need to think about what is my goal? What is my goal? What's the goal of taking out all my ums and ahs and my repetitions and my filler words? What's my goal there? Yeah. I mean, it's an admirable thing. It'll make me. Do I care if I think you think I'm intelligent? Yeah. I think that's something worthy thinking about on its own. Am I doing this for vanity? Yeah. I'll think about that. Because oftentimes people are trying to improve their speech because they're a business person, and I do a lot of business meetings, and I want people to take me seriously. I want to become successful in whatever my business is. But what's my end goal here? I'm doing this as a hobbyist, as a part of talking about books. Perhaps I would like more people to listen to me about my opinions on books, or to yeah, I'll have to think about that. I'll think about that. That's a good thing to think about. All right. I will leave it there. It's funny, the more you look at yourself, the more you go, oh man, how can I be out in the world like this all this time and not have realized? But, that's the thing about self-discovery. It's like, oh my God, it was here all along. And now I discovered it. Thank you, mean commenter on a video. Oh, that's the person you gotta. Sometimes a little bit of meanness is not a bad thing. Just a tiny little bit of meanness is not a bad thing. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.